What's up, film factors, and welcome to all Walt Disney Animation villains. The first villain in the Walt Disney Empire is the evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. A ruthless, bitter old woman who will do anything for her looks. Pinocchio features no less than 5 villains. First is the puppet master Stromboli, who keeps Pinocchio locked up for his own gain. Then we have the criminal duo Honest John and Gideon, who kidnap Pinocchio and other children. They work for the coachman, who traps kids on an island and sells them as donkeys. The final villain is the giant whale Monstro. The main villain in Fantasia is Chernabog. From atop a mountain, he unleashes his dark power and summons ghosts and monsters. Dumbo's main villain is the ringmaster, who keeps animals imprisoned in his circus. He exploits them under cruel conditions. In Bambi, the antagonist is the hunter, who preys on the forest animals. He even sets the entire forest on fire to succeed. In Saludos Amigos, the mountain Aconcagua is the opponent of the little airplane Pedro. As a force of nature, it feels threatening and dangerous. The toy bull can be considered a villain in The Three Caballeros. He puts Donald Duck in bizarre and dangerous situations within his dream world. The opera director Teddy Toddy is the villain in Make Mine Music. He doesn't believe in the singing whale and causes his tragic end. Fun and Fancy Free has 2 villains. Willie the Giant chases Mickey, Donald, and Goofy through his castle. Lumpjaw is a jealous bear who tries to eliminate Bongo in a duel for a lady bear. In Melody Time, the Rustlers are the main antagonist. They are a group of cattle thieves who terrorize Texas in classic cowboy fashion. Each story in the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad has its own villain. In Mr. Toad's story, it's the criminal Mr. Winky and the weasels who work for him. In Ichabod's tale, the headless horseman haunts him through the night. Lady Tremaine, Cinderella's stepmother, is the villain in Cinderella. Cinderella is mistreated her whole life by her. She refuses to accept her and treats her like a servant. The villain in Alice in Wonderland is the Queen of Hearts. She plays unpredictable games in Wonderland and is moody, loud, and ruthless. The well-known Captain Hook, the leader of the pirates in Neverland, is the villain in Peter Pan. He does everything he can to defeat Peter Pan. The dog catcher is clearly the main villain in Lady and the Tramp. He locks up dogs and sometimes kills them. Aunt Sarah and her cats, CNAM, are also antagonists as they try to kick Lady out of the house. One of the most iconic Disney villains is Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. She's a horned sorceress who curses a baby just for not being invited to a party. Cruella de Vil, from 101 Dalmatians, is one of the scariest Disney villains. The creepy old lady wants to turn Dalmatian puppies into a fur coat. In The Sword in the Stone, the witch Madame Mim is the antagonist. Her magical duel with Merlin is legendary. Shere Khan, the elegant, menacing tiger, is the villain in The Jungle Book. With his deadly stare and regal demeanor, he wants to rid the jungle of all humans. In Aristocats, the seemingly kind butler Edgar becomes the villain after being disinherited. He tries everything to get rid of Madame Adelaide's cats. In Robin Hood, the main villain is the greedy lion Prince John who taxes the people into poverty. And the Sheriff of Nottingham enforces his will. There's no true villain in the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. But in Pooh's Nightmare, the Heffalumps and Woozles act as strange and spooky antagonists. The villain in The Rescuers is Madame Medusa. She's a cruel woman who puts her own desires above all else, even if it means kidnapping a child. The grumpy old hunter Amos Slade is the main antagonist in The Fox and the Hound. He's obsessed with killing the fox from the neighboring house. The grizzly bear also serves as a major threat later in the movie. One of the creepiest Disney villains ever is the Horned King from The Black Cauldron. He wants to conquer the world with an undead army using dark magic. In The Great Mouse Detective, Professor Ratigan is Basil's archenemy. He's a power-hungry mastermind who wants to rule the Mouse Kingdom. Bill Sikes is a cold-hearted gangster in Oliver and Company. He rules the New York underworld and uses his Dobermans to enforce his will. Ursula, the Sea Witch, is the villain in The Little Mermaid. She grants wishes that always come with a terrible price and manipulates everyone around her. The brutal poacher Percival McLeach is the villain in The Rescuers Down Under. He captures endangered animals and shows no mercy. In Beauty and the Beast, the charming Gaston turns into the villain. He's incredibly vain and believes Belle belongs to him, and will do anything to get her. Aladdin features one of the most iconic villains, Jafar. The Grand Vizier is cunning and deceitful, scheming behind the Sultan's back to seize power. One of the most famous Disney villains is Scar from The Lion King. The ruthless lion betrays his own brother and won't hesitate to kill for the throne. In Pocahontas, Governor Ratcliffe is the primary antagonist. He leads an expedition to the New World and seeks land and riches, with no regard for the native people. The arrogant Judge Claude Frollo plays the dark villain in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. His obsession, thirst for power, and religious fanaticism make him extremely dangerous. The main antagonist in Hercules is Hades, the god of the underworld. He is the forgotten brother of Zeus and Poseidon and is deeply bitter because of it. His goal is revenge. Shan Yu, the leader of the Huns, is the villain in Mulan. He wages war against the Chinese Empire, spreading fear and destruction wherever he goes. The primary villain in Tarzan is the poacher William Cecil Clayton. He hunts jungle animals and wants to wipe everything out. There's also the jaguar Sabor, who poses a major threat to Tarzan and his friends. Fantasia 2000 features multiple villains. One is the Firebird, who sets the forest ablaze and tries to destroy all life. The other is Jack in the Box, who acts out of jealousy and causes chaos. In Dinosaur, the two Carnotaurus serve as the antagonists. They relentlessly hunt Aladdin's herd during their long journey. They are ravenous beasts that devour anything in their path. The Emperor's New Groove has the power-hungry alchemist Isma as its main villain. She'll do anything to seize control of the Empire. Commander Tiberius Rourke is the villain in Atlantis: The Lost Empire. He is deceitful and greedy. He plans to plunder Atlantis and is willing to kill to get what he wants. In Lilo and Stitch, the main antagonist is the alien commander Captain Gantu. He is determined to capture Stitch, who has crash-landed on Earth. One of the best-written Disney villains is John Silver from Treasure Planet. He appears to be a hard-working ship's cook but turns out to be a cunning pirate leader who wants the treasure for himself. Alameda Slim is the cattle rustler villain in Home on the Range. He steals entire herds of cattle in a single night using his hypnotic yodeling powers. In Chicken Little, the clearest villain is the fox, Foxy Loxy. She's Chicken Little's nemesis and always makes him look bad in front of everyone. Bowler Hat Guy is the main antagonist in Meet the Robinsons. Driven by loneliness and wounded pride, he is manipulated by the AI hat named Doris. In Bolt, the villain within his TV show is Dr. Calico. He's a supervillain who Bolt fights in every episode, but he's just a character in a scripted series. In The Princess and the Frog, the dark magician Dr. Facilier is the main villain. He offers magical deals that come with a price and always serves his own dark agenda. Mother God Hell is clearly the villain in Tangled. She keeps Rapunzel locked away in a tower and tricks her into believing it's for her own safety, all to serve Gothel's selfish desire for eternal youth. In Winnie the Pooh, the Backson is considered the main villain. However, the monster only exists in the imagination of Pooh, Piglet, and their friends. In Wreck-It Ralph, the true antagonist is King Candy, who is actually Turbo in disguise. He fakes his identity and takes over an entire arcade game to stay relevant. In Frozen, the seemingly charming Prince Hans is revealed to be the villain. With a huge lie and a fake persona, he plots to steal the throne of Arendelle. The mysterious yokai is the villain in Big Hero 6. Behind the mask is Professor Callahan, who uses dangerous microbots to take revenge for the loss of his daughter. The mayor's assistant Dawn Bellwether turns out to be the true villain in Zootopia. She hides behind a sweet facade while secretly manipulating fear to gain power. In Moana, the fiery goddess Te Kā is the main antagonist. She appears as a destructive force trying to destroy all life, but in truth, she is Te Fiti, needing only her heart restored. In Ralph Breaks the Internet, the virus Arthur is the main antagonist. It's designed to replicate and spread insecurities. The true villain in Frozen 2 is King Runyard, Elsa, and Anna's grandfather. Behind his peaceful facade was deep mistrust of magic and other cultures. The Droon are the main antagonists in Raya and the Last Dragon. These ghost-like entities turn everything they touch to stone. They represent mistrust, division, and greed. The Reapers in Strange World are mysterious, tentacled creatures that devour everything around them. They act as the film's central threat. In Wish, King Magnifico reveals himself as the villain. While pretending to protect his people's wishes, he actually uses them to control and suppress hope. In the latest movie Moana 2, the storm god Nala is the main antagonist. He has cursed and guarded the mysterious island of Motofida for centuries with a menacing storm barrier. Which one is your favorite? Write it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.